Picture this, a dusty road in ancient China. An exhausted old man in simple robes walks with a small group of loyal students trailing behind him. He is returning home to die.
Wait, why is he on the road? He spent 13 years walking from kingdom to kingdom. He knocked on the doors of powerful rulers, offering them the ultimate secret to a stable society. Every single one of them shut the door in his face.
He went home. He buried his favorite student like a son. Shortly after, in 479 BCE, Confucius died. He died old, exhausted, and with the crushing belief that he was an absolute failure. His life's work amounted to nothing. Section 1. China in Crisis. The Collapse of the Zhou Dynasty. Okay, but why did he spend 13 years begging warlords to listen to him in the first place?
Because his world was bleeding.
Look at the timeline. Back in 1000 BCE, the early Zhou dynasty was stable, rock solid. But by the time Kong Chu, the boy we call Confucius, was born in 551 BCE, that dynasty was disintegrating. Local warlords were mercilessly carving up the country. Warfare was endless.
The social rot was total. Peasants acted like nobles. Nobles acted like criminals.
So the basic rules of society just vanished.
Completely. Confucius grew up in poverty during this crisis. He became obsessed with the lost rituals of the past. He needed a cure for the chaos.
Section 2. The Moral Operating System. Fixing Society Through Virtue. His fix was radical. The solution wasn't military might. It was a brand new moral operating system. Fix how people treat each other, and society fixes itself.
He mapped out 5 fundamental relationships: ruler and subject, parent and child, husband and wife, elder and younger sibling, friend and friend. Hold on, look at the arrows. Duty flows both ways, exactly. The ruler owes just governance. Only then does the subject owe loyal service. The responsibility is entirely mutual.
The core of this system is Ren, benevolence, humaneness. The rule is simple. Do not impose on others which you do not want yourself.
Treat people exactly how you want to be treated.
Right, and this isn't just ancient history. That exact concept shows up 2,300 years later in Immanuel Kant's philosophy. Today, it is the absolute backbone of the UN Declaration of Human Rights. So this ancient Chinese operating system is hardwired into our modern definition of human rights.
Now, if Ren is the mindset, Li is the action, ritual propriety.
You mean like big religious ceremonies?
No, the texture of daily life, how you greet your father, how you speak to an elder. It's the small, everyday gestures of respect that hold a culture together, like invisible software.
Combine these, and you get the junzi, the superior person. Back then, a rigid class system meant status was determined by birth. Confucius shattered that.
How did he do that?
Through education. He claimed anyone could become a junzi. He taught anyone willing to learn. He even accepted a simple bundle of dried meat as tuition from the poorest students. Nobility is about your character, not your bloodline.
But this got tested. A man named Upright Gong testified against his own father for stealing a sheep. The state praised him. I mean, stealing is a crime. The state is just enforcing the law. Confucius completely rejected that. He said true righteousness means prioritizing your family over cold state laws. Morality has to start at home.
Section 3. The Unexpected Victory. From a perceived failure to a 2.5 millennial legacy.
No wonder the warlords hated him.
Exactly. Warlords wanted ruthless military strategists to help them conquer their neighbors. They did not want a philosopher talking about virtue and family. That is why he died feeling defeated.
But his devoted students refused to let his ideas die. Some mourned at his grave for years. They compiled his street teachings and conversations into a deceptively simple scroll called the Analects, and hundreds of years later, the massive Han Dynasty adopted it.
1,300 years. For 1,300 years, the Chinese government ran its imperial exams purely on Confucian principles. If you wanted any government job, you had to memorize the Analects.
And what about today? Today, a staggering 2.5 billion people still live their daily lives governed by his invisible moral operating system. Not bad for a guy who died thinking he was a total failure. Section 4. Recap and teaser. A 30-second summary. Let's lock this in. Give me the recap.
551 BCE. China is crumbling into absolute chaos. Confucius steps up. He prescribes the 5 relationships, Ren for empathy, and Li for daily respect to create the noble junzi.
He dies a complete reject, but his students compile the Analects, which goes on to literally wire the minds of billions for the next 2 millennia.
Next time, on this Explainer series, we track down a man who may not have even existed. He wrote 81 short verses about doing absolutely nothing. He climbed onto a water buffalo, rode west into the mist, and changed the world with the Tao Te Ching. You definitely need to hear this one.